I'm loving... No, let me back up and rephrase that. I'm liking the Lycan League semifinals because a lot of what's going on right now is not what I would have expected. I really, if anything, expected Lilbow to be the 1-2-0 at this point, but I'm not at all sad to see MarineLord causing at least an upset, a stir to begin with. Spawning here, speaking of which, in the northern location of the map, we have our blue Terran player from Millennium. He leads 2-0 in this best of 5, 1 win away from victory. I give you MarineLord.
The bottom position as the red Protoss, Lilbow.
Alright, let's see. The bets for this are actually not too bad. In fact, it looks like Stream would actually disagree with me. 8,840 Partoofs bet on MarineLord. 6,700 on Lilbow.
So they want the 3-0?
I think people were expecting MarineLord to take the edge in the series. I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we mentioned it earlier when we were still looking at the brackets that MarineLord had a better chance than Bly, just because Lilbow's PVZ is amazing. But it's certainly not the case that Lilbow's PVT is super bad, and that's why he's losing. It just does seem like it's an off day.
Well, we'll see if this gets any better for him. I mean, it was really interesting to go for the Immortal bus. You don't see that a lot anymore. And a lot of it hinges on it being unscouted. Now, MarineLord did not directly scout this, and there's some people who really want to just have fun calling map hacks, and you guys are idiots, but again, really smart players like MarineLord can discern from certain information, okay, you've got 4 sentries against a Terran player? This isn't versus Zerg. That's uncommon. That's out of the ordinary. So instead, he might not know it's an Immortal Sentry all-in, but he knows it's something coming his way. So 3 bunkers go up immediately. Makes a lot of sense. Played it really smart, and the pre-pull on the SCVs perfectly timed, not to mention the cherry on top of that Widowmine shot.
Yeah, I still wonder what happened if that Widowmine shot didn't go down. You got the Mothership, 2-3 Immortals. Like, that was the best Widowmine ever.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. I don't know if he'd be able to bust it, but it might have looked really different with hardened shields and 1 or 2 time warps. But oh well. Probably not seeing anything like that again. What other all-ins can he break out here? I mean, another Colossus all-in can happen on Van Eye, despite being really weird with the main ramp being the natural ramp too. Blink Stalker all in, not so much. People don't really do those anymore anyways. What are the Mortal all in? I would say no. What other ones are there left over? Like a Gateway all in? No one really does that versus Terran.
I feel like it'd be kind of cool to see him try and pull out something more old school, like Charge Lot Storm or something like that.
Surprise him? It's possible.
It's just so unused. Widowmines are so good at shutting that down.
Yeah, they are. Well, we might just see a macro game, and that'll be cool too. The problem is that Van Eye, the way that it spreads you apart, because it is, you know, you expand in a very like horizontal way. It's not a little triangle. It's all nice, like say Akalon. It can be hard to defend against drops. Plus, there's a huge concave that can be got at the third after you bypass the little plateau in the middle, and that could be hard to defend against as well. There's certainly reasons why Terrans are looking better and better on this map.
This is so unorthodox, but I like that he's going for this bunker at the front. You gotta imagine something like Lilbow down 2 in the series. Like, he comes across the map, if not with a Blink Stalker build, maybe just a simple Stalker Zealot, Mothership Core Poke or something, but regardless, this bunker is not that expensive. You can always salvage it later, and it's way better to be safe than sorry when you're up 2-0. Some players will actually take the opposite approach and just go super risky, but more often than not, I feel the players who are up in this series, they don't try something ridiculous. They just try to win.
Yeah. Stims on the way, Blink on the way for Lilbow, so looking like that first game. But this could just go into a macro game. Like, Blink's very broad opener. Or I have to really confirm when you see the Robo and the Forge go down. I'd be very surprised to see him go for an all-in.
I really want to... I mean, if nothing else, I just want to see Lilbow play better because I guess I got such high expectations of him. But at the same time, it's like the one time my caster bias is not working properly and I should be rooting for MarineLord because he's Terran.
Son, I am disappointed.
Right? I'm just like, I'm doing it wrong over here.
There's no Forge. So maybe...
I mean, I guess we didn't really talk about this, but the biggest dynamic of this map is it does change from what the two previous ones have been. On Catalina and Overgrowth, you can present, not that he did in both games, but you can present a pressure by pushing with Marines, baiting out the overcharge. This one, the in-base expansion and one force-fielded ramp to defend two bases, that's not really an option. Yeah. So for Lilbow, I kind of feel he can get away with playing a little bit, not super greedy, but more greedy with his build, whether it's greed for economy or greed for like higher tech. Again, this is kind of me going towards wanting to see Templar, but Scan comes down at him, MarineLord to check the natural base.
Okay, so he has no idea what's really going on. He throws on some turrets. They'll take care of any Stargate play or, of course, Dark Shrine. But it looks like he is going to go for the 2-base Colossus Summon again. Again, no Forge, so they're looking for the long game. So far, only 3 gateways, but it's around, like, what, 30 seconds more that we saw the rest of the gateways go down? Oh, there's the Forge. I wouldn't have not liked Colossus All In at all, to be honest.
Ooh,
just think MarineLord maybe did away with it.
So, well, yeah, I definitely wasn't too keen on seeing the Colossus All In anyways, just for the sake of this map. But what I think is really cool, Double Forge is definitely kind of one of those ways to play greedy with tech I was mentioning. There's not really a way for a Terran player to punish this per se. But it also means that Lilbow can't really push, because everything he has is going to be going towards double upgrades. It's a lot of gas. More importantly, it's a lot of minerals, too.
Yeah. And, well, we didn't want to see an all-in, because the last 2 did fail. So we bring up the fact that it might be hard to defend if MarineLord's, feeling like dropping a lot. And he can certainly play both styles. He can play the, drop everywhere, and he can play kind of, passive and then just beat you back with a huge, huge army. But Lilbow's already gotten a couple of units, observers in place to check for those drops on the right side.
That was First Blood, really?
What was it?
Apparently it was First Blood. I didn't realize it was this long in the game until something actually died.
Well, we didn't have a Reaper, so makes sense. Wow, these are the drops that I was talking about. Now there's something off to the 3rd because there actually is no 3rd yet, so wouldn't be worth it anyways. Is he gonna scan?
Scans over here, checks the main.
Well, why unload there? He's gotta be looking for the observer, but Lilbow already moved it.
Oh, you saw it.
It's not gonna be able to hit it, so alright. It would have been a nice pick-off. You don't want to really be remaking observers. And that would have opened up a really great drop path. But MarineLord's gotta be still feeling pretty okay, knowing that the 3rd base is not down. What did he scan in the main when he did that scan? He saw the army, right? But the BC... He hasn't seen the double forge.
I guess that might be a little bit worried, because he knows there's Colossus out. Wow, that looks really weird looking at MarineLord's vision. He knows this Colossus up, you're right. Like, he doesn't know that the investment in the double forge is here. There's a lot of Blaze Stalkers defending the natural. And Lilbow's not really reached out for a 3rd. And I think maybe a typical Protoss player is not so quick and so keen to take a 3rd, but you gotta wonder, like, hey man, it's coming up in like 13 minutes. Are you even gonna try and take it a 3rd? And if you're not, then what are you doing? If it's not 2-base Colossus All In.
Yeah, right? I guess my fear, if I was to look at this, would be like, how fast are you getting up to High Templars, and how much are they gonna blind me? Like, are you doing like a face Colossus thing, or what's going on? But he finally sees the 3rd, knows the army's on the other side, and is gonna try and drop, but there are stalkers in position.
It's interesting he turns away from this too, because he scans the 3rd and realizes there's no stalkers here, so chances are they are somewhere in the main or the natural. So it plays the really safe approach to this without even seeing the stalkers in the first place. In the meantime, he's got 3 bases up behind this, so whatever he loses can be replaced, but still, not that you want to have to replace any amount of this bio. Nice start to the fight as Lilbow was just move commanding into it. Goes to focus down the Robo. No more Colossus for you, sir, not for a little bit of time. But I can't really pick up and get out of here either because the Stalkers are focused right now. So tries to get the Medivacs out alive, does get 1 out. 3rd base under attack at the same time. The 3rd time this 3rd base gets cancelled. Nicely done by MarineLord.
Pretty perfect representation of why this can be a very frustrating map against Terran for Protoss. And actually, Lilbow, he was getting charged, so maybe I was thinking eventually he's going to go up to High Templars. And of course, in a PvT, eventually you will. But he's really going to focus on the Colossus for now with double Robo.
Yeah, the double Robo is a good way to make up for the lost production of having that initial one sniped off. But still, it's going to be difficult for... The reason this goes so poorly for these stretches, as you point out, not only do you have to spread yourself thin between 3 bases, you have to spread yourself extra thin when you've gone for these double upgrades. There's not a lot of units on the field for Lilbow. His army supply is not bad, but it's not consolidated.
Yeah. It's a good thing that MarineLord really hasn't been on top of the Viking production. He has been about the medevac production until now, 8 actually, and no second starport. That's a little worrying. There should be one down by, well, maybe not. Maybe you can wait a little bit longer, but with how many Colossus are on the way, I would say no. Like, only 2 Colossus right now. He's got to do damage.
He gets the snipe on the Nexus. Really nicely done. The Stalkers are choking each other out. They couldn't even get involved with the fight.
That is pretty bad, but you know, if he does damage, he's about poking that bear, right?
Yeah, he loses everything on the left side too, which really sucks. So his army supply plummets, pardon me.
Yeah, so that's always going to be a worry, is that, well, I don't have a lot of Vikings. I see that thy army is pretty formidable, and like formidable, and I want to, you know, deal damage, but I also don't want you to attack me until I have a lot more Vikings.
Well, Lilbow has been, it's funny, look at the resources lost real quick, if you would. Almost dead even.
That is, I guess it's been mostly build cancels.
That's what I was thinking too. You build cancel a Nexus 3 or 4 times, you straight up lose your natural base. I mean, Lilbow's not been trading a lot of his army. In fact, oops, pardon me, we'll get the Shift L, and you can see he's not lost many actual units, at least in comparison to MarineLord.
2 Colossus at a time, man. How many is he gonna go up to? He's at 4, he's gonna go up to 6. Maybe even 8.
Oh, where did that Widow? I didn't even see him planted over here. Just an explosion go off, but nicely done.
I heard the burrow, but didn't recognize what it was. Like, wow.
Well, I was gonna follow this up with the point that if he actually goes, this might be bad. This many Colossus, to be honest with you. If he goes 6 or 8, that's a lot less army value that goes on the Stalkers or Zealots. You could either get enough Stalkers to pick off the Vikings, but if you do, then you don't have enough Zealots to buffer for the army. There's a lot of pros and cons to this, but I think the Colossus' biggest con is it takes up so much supply.
I feel when you go this many Colossus, you are banking on either that they aren't making a lot of Vikings or they don't know how to control their army with Vikings, right? So if you stim into this with your Vikings because you think you have 24 Vikings versus 8 Colossus and you're going to do okay, your entire army will melt in the ground anyways because you just stimmed into like 8 Colossus. Like, what were you thinking? But if you don't do it correctly, the Colossus can look really bad.
Alright, so this Widowmine's, sorry, we didn't get to catch the tail end of that one again. You got another shot off to kill like 2 more probes, but the Widowmine's going down like this really sucks. Not because it was supposed to be some sneaky attack, but it just deals with the Zealots so effectively, so efficiently. And the entire army is unloaded over here because, well, Colossus and Stalkers wait. Yo, I wonder if Colossus can range from this little ledge here to this ledge here. It looks close enough.
Maybe. I do want to point out that while we made a big point to reference Lilbow's double forge, and you know, we usually talk about how good that is.
Ah, yeah.
It's actually behind in upgrades.
But that was kind of critical, I feel. If he had invested into that 3-3 so quickly, I really feel MarineLord could have overwhelmed him. It was getting borderline to that point anyways. A little bit, perhaps a little unsure whether they'd be safe or not to go for them, decides to delay them. And I like that choice, to be honest, with the amount of pressure that's been put on. But we'll see if the Chrono Boost make up for that last time. First Colossus goes down like nobody's business. No Guardian Shields to help. The segment, oh my god, there's nothing to deter this damage. You just lose all the Colossus. This dies so quickly. 2 at a time means nothing if you had nothing in play.
Oh god.
Stalkers choked at the ramp.
Together. Like 6 Colossus.
That's it.
That is it. That's it. GG.
That's the snowball effect, ladies and gentlemen. MarineLord, he'll clean up the series with a nice 3-0.